Good morning, ladies. I'm Sloan, and it really is important that you feel sexy for your business. There, I said it. I don't mean sexy like other people think you look sexy. I'm talking about for yourself, that inside you feel sexy. So maybe another word we could use is sensual, because I really want to invite you to look at how you would need to feel to up-level that. And in the midst of everything happening, and the kids are at home and the business, and we're being, bombarded with even more media and all those things, it's kind of like, what are you talking about? Sensual, sexy. It can feel like, where does that even fit in here? So if you're already fitting it in, awesome, you're amazing. And if you're not, I wanted to come on and share my story about what I've been experiencing and became aware of just recently, as this relates for myself. And I also want to talk about some of my favorite techniques that you can implement and use now, and also share why it's so important. Why am I even talking about sensuality and sexuality in business? So this was all inspired because I woke up this morning and I realized that I have gotten completely out of my body. And when I say that, I mean really just in the head. The to-do lists and the stuff and you know what I'm talking about? All the things. And also a part of it is I haven't been having a lot of fun. Put some hearts or some thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. Is like, I've gotten into the comfort of being around my house, but I haven't been doing my traveling, out with friends, doing the stuff that I'm, even out with my daughter at the beach. Yeah, we're kind of like hunkering down and the activities that I'm used to doing for fun aren't there. So what I've done is kind of gotten into this old track of my old self, which is I've got to get it done, and I'm following my to-do list, and I'm just kind of marching through the days. Every day is looking the same, and I'm making sure my daughter's taken care of and her school and her stuff. And then, hi Stella, good to see everybody. And I'm doing all this stuff for my business and checking. Now it seems like I have 10 different accounts that people are emailing on. You know what I'm talking about? It's like Messenger and Vox and WhatsApp and text and email. And so it's like, And then what's really happening is the energy from my body that I'm usually experiencing within my body goes up into my head. So I'm kind of living in a place of just being this big head moving around. Do you know what I'm talking about? If this resonates with you, if you know what I'm saying and this is meaningful for you, put some hearts or some likes in the comments. And if you have questions, let me know, because I want to make sure that we're on the same page with this. Conversation is so important for what you want in business. And let me tell you why. Your sensuality and sexuality, and mine too, are connected to our creativity. Those centers are connected. So when we're fully feeling our bodies, when you're really in your pleasure, tasting your food, listening to music you enjoy, doing all those things, it really is being present in the present moment. And if you think about it, you can't be creative in the past or the future. Creativity is in the present moment. And here's the even juicier part. All of your creativity is what makes your business special. It's what makes what you're doing unique. So if you're planning, or you had in the past, which I don't think that's you, any of these ladies in our group, but if you were building a business in the past that was kind of based on just doing all the right things and what everybody else was doing to create success and just marching through building something for money, then it doesn't really matter if you're creative. But if you're really committed to letting the vision that's flowing through you and the way that you have to serve people and help them and really contribute in this life and in this world, if you're interested in that, which I know you are, then you have to be able to access your creativity. And this is what hit me like a ton of bricks this morning. I'm like, oh my gosh, look, I got into that old habit, the old paradigm of getting things done. And I've been doing it from an excited place. It's not like I'm like, oh, I have to do this and that. And it's not grinding it out, but it's really kind of just being unconscious. Yeah. So the practice is, when I realized that this morning, I'm like, all right, first I've got to get back into my body. And some of the practices that I have for that, my very favorite is the dance party. That could be just dancing around to music I love, having fun, being in my body. Another one is what I call, this is kind of hilarious, but for us women, it's like an emotional dance party. And the idea is, do you have those songs that you just love, like makes you feel heart-wrenching or fired up or passionate? And it's kind of turning on that music. Yes, turning on that music and just dancing in that passion and in that juiciness. And sometimes even when I'm in a lot of fear or sadness for what's going on in the world, or even thinking about like what's going to happen for us and the future and business and all that stuff, if I'm in that mood, an emotional dance party could be turning on music that kind of adds to it and just really letting myself go. Does that resonate with you? So good to see everybody. Yes, and I love your hearts. It's like sometimes part of just being a woman is getting into our emotions and letting it just be there and be big before we then, okay, when that feeling has passed, to move on. Another one is one of my favorites, and that is body touching. And so I've actually been doing that this morning when I had this realization that I was really out of my body. It is keeping my eyes closed and just physically touching myself all over, feeling what I feel on my hands and feeling the sensation of my body. Yes, Jackie, I love that. Selena, I love Sia too. Her music, it's just like, it's wrenching my heart. And you can even do the emotional music while you're doing body touching. Let's go crazy here. And all of this, you see, is getting you into the moment, getting myself into the present moment, because I can be doing all the things in my business. I can be taking the best care of my daughter. I can have everything buttoned up on the outside. But if I'm not really focused on how I'm feeling on the inside, it's kind of like having only 10% of my energy and power and force available. And the irony of it is that sometimes it can feel like, oh no, I just have to use all the energy on doing all the things in order to get it done. But the truth is that I have to go within to power me up from inside and be in my pleasure from inside in order to have the full force of my power to do the things I need to do on the outside. Thank you, Claudia. I'm so happy to see you. I appreciate your positivity too and your appreciation. So I want to hear from you. I would love everybody here to share. What are you doing to be in your pleasure, especially in the midst of the 50,000 things that you have going on? Isn't it kind of funny? It's like we have less to do than ever before, and in some ways it's busier than ever before. And you can see, if you're experiencing any sensation of that, you can see that the busyness is a creation of the mind, and the mind's going to create it no matter what. Your mind is going to create you to be doing things, whether you can be out and with friends and all the parties and, lifestyle or not. It's so interesting to see that, isn't it? So the last thing that I want to leave you with is I really want to invite you to not only see where you need to get into your pleasure today, but also where could you just have a little more fun? I realized this morning, even in all this, I had gotten into my phone and my daughter was in her room and she had some music on, and I just was like, knocked on the door, can I come in? Came in, and I was like, can we just dance together? Let's have some fun for a minute. And doing that even more. I try to do that every day. How can I do that even more? How can you do something that you're feeling good about even more today so you can be having fun despite what's not happening on the outside world, so that you can be in your body and be fully present in your creativity, in your relationships, and everything that you're doing today, so you can show up with the fullness of who you are in your life, and also especially in your business, where now more than ever, the world needs leaders like the woman I know you are to stand up, and whether that's being a leader just by your presence and who you are, or by the services that you're offering and what you're doing, it really is stepping into a whole new level of leadership by leading within yourself first. Yes, leading within first and having fun and enjoying ourselves along the way. I'm hosting next week a masterclass called Business Reimagined that's really about a whole new way of doing business. We're going to focus this process that I'm teaching, which is actually a system that I use for myself and for my clients. We're going to focus on each woman getting clear in her business, whether she needs to reposition, and if so, if that's for messaging, for offerings, or both. So we're going to apply it practically in the masterclass. And I would love to invite you to join if you're interested in really exploring a new way of doing business that, for me, is the business of the future. This is the way of doing business that we as women really need to focus on powerfully stepping into, that involves the things I'm talking about right now. It includes a lot of business strategy in my experience in working with hundreds of service provider entrepreneurs, but it's not just business strategy. It's for people who really want to step into something bigger that's about a holistic view of what it is to do business, earning more money and profits, and also having pleasure, creating business from inspiration and from within, and taking that out into the world. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you for your awesome participation. And I look forward to connecting soon. I'm going to be on to respond to comments. I would love to be having this conversation with you ongoing. And if you want to join the masterclass next week, I will post in the comments. The Facebook group where you can get more information is Business Reimagined. That's re-imagined. You guys are awesome. Have a great day. Goodbye, everybody.